Freedom is in our minds and faith is in our hearts. Pride is in our soul and love for the nation in our blood. Warm wishes on Independence Day. Let's make it a cheerful day.
Happy Independence Day and good morning to all. We take the honor to welcome you to mark the other landmark of success by celebrating for virtual 75th Independence Day of our beloved country, India. So, I Tanmay Mahajan
And I Pratiksha Tidme.
from the core of our hearts welcome you all for today's function on behalf of Vikhe Patil Memorial School, Nashik.
Freedom is for everyone. It doesn't see colors or shapes. We have had enough of hate and violence, and now we need to build our new future, full of love and understanding.
Independence Day is undoubtedly incomplete without the national anthem and flag hoisting. So friends, let's have the flag hoisting ceremony.
Yeah.
sacrificed their sons to gain freedom of India. Let us value and celebrate it with pride. My friend Amok Vidati will share his thoughts on this auspicious day.
Hello everyone, myself Master Amok Vidati. Today I will say a few words on Independence Day. We all know that Independence Day is an auspicious occasion for all of us. Today we are free because of the great Indian leaders who sacrificed their lives to get freedom against British. Today is a very significant day which we celebrate remembering the great Indian leaders who had given their lives for the freedom and prosperity of the country. Freedom of India was possible because of the cooperation, sacrifice and involvement of all Indians. We should value and salute all the freedom fighters because they are the real national heroes. We are so lucky that our forefathers have given us a land of peace and happiness where we can sleep the whole night without fear and enjoy the whole day in our school or home. Our country is developing very fast in field of technology, sports, finance and various other fields, which was almost impossible before freedom. India is our country and we are its citizens. We should always be ready to save it from the enemies. It is our responsibility to lead our country ahead and make it the best country in the world. Today we should take an oath of being highly responsible and well-educated citizens of tomorrow. Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Amok, for your wonderful thoughts.
In the poem, We Are Indians First, Dr. Prashant Bhatt says, history is our witness and martyrs are God. Let's view the highlights of historical timeline of India to gain freedom from the revolt of 1857.
1857 Revolt in India. Revolt was done by Indians to oppose British. After Indian revolt against British, India came under direct British rule.
1885, the first meeting of Indian National Congress was held. This meeting was held under the presence of Vyomesh Chandra Banerjee.
The partition of Bengal. Under the policy divide and rule, Bengal was divided into two parts to divide Hindus and Muslims.
19th 11th change in capital. British changed the capital city. It was transferred from Kolkata to New Delhi.
1950 Home Rule League. Dr. Annie Besant and Lokmanya Tilak started Home Rule League. It means self-government. Tilak stated, Swarajya is my birthright, I shall have it.
1919 Rowlatt Act was passed in which it gave right to government to arrest anybody without any warrant.
1990 Jallianwala Bagh. Many innocent people including men and women were openly killed by firing on them in Jallianwala Bagh.
1920 Non-Cooperation Movement. With the support of all over India, Non-Cooperation Movement was launched by Gandhiji.
In the year 1930, Dandi March, it is also known as Salt March. Gandhiji led the Salt March against the British salt monopoly.
1942, the Quit India Movement. The Quit India Movement is launched by Indian National Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi.
1947 Independence of India. India became an independent nation. The Muslim state of Pakistan was established in the north and the remaining was India. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of India.
Life is so uncertain and every minute that we breathe is a miracle because we escape from so many dangers that could snatch our lives. During the pandemic, this thought has only got strengthened.
Many people work as the frontline workers to save life and show humanity. They are true warriors. Every warrior is a god, right from the corporation sweepers, the police personnel, the traders who have been feeding us non-stop with milk, meat, groceries, vegetables and fruits, the bank employees and the staff of governments who have not stopped working, the media personnel who have been keeping us informed, the transporters, drivers, conductors and the hospital support staff, the nurses and of course the doctors and politicians. The transporters, drivers, conductors and the hospital support staff, the nurses and of course doctors and politicians who have been on the field continuously and so many more. Many of them have lost lives or have lost their kith and kin but move on undaunted in the service of society. Today we have with us one of Corona warrior, Dr. Lakshmikant Pathak, interviewed by our friend Vishaka Thakur from Standard 7.
Today we have eminent personality Dr. Lakshmikant Subhash Pathak with us. Dr. Lakshmikant Subhash Pathak. He is BHMS doctor and completed MBA in Healthcare Administration from Symbiosis College. He has completed diploma in Hospital Management, Quality Management, Medical Legal System, and also diploma in Yog Shikshak and Journalism. At present, he is working as CEO at Namco Charitable Trust, Nashik. On behalf of Vikhe Patil Memorial School, I am Ms. Vishaka Thakur, welcome you for the interview. With your permission, can we begin our interview?
Yes, sure, beta. We can try.
Doctors are saviors. What are your experiences during pre and post-COVID period?
But pre-COVID, it was very fearful all over the peoples are afraid of COVID. They don't know what the COVID is exactly, how it is going to cause, and how we can protect ourselves, how we can protect our families. All these aspects were pre-COVID. And once they came to know the mask, then the social distancing, these are the measures that we can protect our family and ourselves. So they start to protect themselves and they start to protect their family. Then we went into lockdown. Then there are some government restrictions all over there. And with all this pre-preparation, with all this pre-mind, we went into post-COVID status. We have well handled the first wave of the COVID and we came out of that wave. People don't know what the signs, symptoms, what the illness of COVID, and even though they come out of that first wave very successfully with some of the casualties, with some of the mishaps in most of the families. Anyway, we are still. Now your next question.
How was your family life during the pandemic?
It was very tough. Family life was very tough. We were just afraid to go home after completing our work in the hospital. We were not in a way to go home because we have a fear that we can get infected and we can transmit our infection to our families. Anyway, when we go to the home, we keep aside, we are placed at one place and we have to go directly into the bathroom, take all clothes and all the mobiles and pen and all these are get sanitized. And with all this fear ki anytime we are going to be positive, our family may be positive, and with all this preparation, with all this determination, we were fighting in the hospital, we were treating the patients, we were dealing with the patient. And it is very appreciable that my family also had helped us with all these things, and they were ready to protect themselves. They were ready to protect me also. And by this way, we face the whole family. We faced the COVID pandemic.
What kind of precautions did you take when you treat the COVID patients?
See, precautions are there. We used to have PPE kits, personal protective kits. We have all that, the whole body covering apron, then the mask, double layer of mask, N95 mask, then the shield, gloves. And once we enter into the COVID ward, we have to wear all these things like that astronaut, and we have to work over there for 6 to 8 hours. And after coming out of that ward, we can remove all those aprons, that personal protective equipments, the gloves, the mask, and then we can get free. Before entering into the ward, we have to take a wash. And after coming out of the ward, that is doffing of the clothes, we have to also take a wash, and then only we can come out of that COVID ward. Yes, beta, next question.
Give us information about vaccines, because people are still hesitating to take vaccines.
You just pass on this. They are not going to cause any damage to your body. In fact, they are protecting your body. They are protecting you from the COVID virus, because once if you have a COVID virus, you have to admit in the hospital and you have to spend a lot and you have a direct life-threatening chances to you and to your family also. So it is always safe, it is always better, and it is always wise कि you take the vaccine whichever is available, whatever is available, wherever is available, you have to take the vaccine, and there is no any option to protect yourselves other than the vaccine. There are, since last 4 months, we have vaccinated almost more than 25,000 people, and almost there is no any side effect of vaccine. All the vaccines, like what we take the vaccine for TT or the vaccine for like our polio or DPT, there is no any side effect. All the vaccines are safe. At present, we have 3 types of vaccines: Covishield, Covaxin, and Sputnik, and all they are safe. There is no any side effect, and doctors are there to take care of your all health. If any side effect is there, they will take care of you. So don't worry, take the vaccine when you will get it.
We are at the verge of third phase of COVID-19. So in this case, what would you suggest the society?
ची काळजी घेणं आवश्यक आहे. पहिली वेव असो, दुसरी वेव असो, तिसरी वेव असो, सगळ्या वेव सारख्याच आहेत. All the waves are going to damage your life. All the waves are going to hamper your family life. So it is always better. There are only 2 options: take the vaccination and protect yourself. Use the mask, wear the mask, and if there is no absolute necessary, you don't come out of your house. Don't gather on the roads. Don't go for shopping. Don't go for any other your works in the market, so that there will be less crowd, there will be less chances of transmission, and with the grace of God, with all these effects and with all these efforts, we can prevent the third wave also, and even the fourth wave also.
Sir, you have given a great message to all of us. We all stand together to spread awareness about the vaccination and promise you that we will cooperate our parents and teachers in this situation.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thanks a lot.
I believe our flag is more than just cloth and ink. It is a universally recognized symbol that stands for liberty and freedom. It is the history of our nation, and it is marked by the blood of those who died defending it. The students of class 4th to 10th have displayed their patriotism and creativity through the tricolor activity. So let's have a glimpse of it.
overcoming a plethora of challenges to earn global recognition. India has come a long way since independence, leaving behind a string of landmarks that defines its journey from the agony of partition to a strong, powerful and a developing nation. In 75 years of independence, India has several achievements to its credit. It has built a modern economy, lifted millions out of poverty, has become a space and a nuclear power, and developed a robust foreign policy. Let's see the journey of India after the independence.
On 15th August 1947, India got independence. At the stroke of midnight hour, while the world sleep, India will awake to life and freedom. Later, India adopted constitutional framework in 1950 and became a sovereign democratic nation. In 1947, the first Prime Minister of India. He was the architect of India's foreign policy. His contribution to social and economic development is significant.
1960, the regions of Goa, Diu and Daman were freed from Portuguese rule and became parts of Indian Federation.
In 1962, India-China war was fought in the region of the Manchu Line. In 1964, Lal Bahadur Shastri, the second Prime Minister of India, gave the slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan, in which he has highlighted the importance of Indian soldiers and Indian farmers.
In 1965, India-Pakistan war, India defeated Pakistan in the war. In 1965, Green Revolution. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan was the father of Green Revolution in 1965. 1971, India-Pakistan war. That war led to the creation of an independent country called Bangladesh.
Between 1972 and 1973, the experiment in cooperative dairy movement by Dr. Vegas Kurian led to increase of milk production in India.
18 May 1974, first nuclear test. India successfully carried out an underground test of an atomic device at Pokhran in Rajasthan.
In 1975, the first satellite Aryabhatta was launched. Today, India has a successful space program and many satellites have been launched under this program. In 1975, national emergency, the fundamental rights of common people were suspended.
1984, the Operation Blue Star. The Indian Army was sent into the Golden Temple at Amritsar, a holy shrine of Sikhs, in 1984 to evict the terrorists who have allegedly taken shelter there.
1984, Rajiv Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India, tried to make several reforms in the field of Indian economy and science and technology.
In 1995, India had become the member of WTO, that is World Trade Organization. In 1998, India had tested a several number of nuclear tests, and after second successful nuclear test, India declared herself as an atomic power. In 1999, there was a war between India and Pakistan in the region of Kargil over the issue of Kashmir. In this war, India defeated Pakistan as well.
January 2002, India successfully tests fires a nuclear-capable ballistic missile, the Agni, off its eastern coast. January 2001, a high-power rocket is launched, propelling India into the club of countries able to fire big satellites deep into the space.
7th April 2005, bus services, the first in 6 years, operate between Srinagar in India and Kashmir and Muzaffarabad in Pakistan administered Kashmir. July 2007, Pratibha Patil became the first woman to be elected as President of India.
On October 2008, India launches its first mission to the moon, the unmanned lunar probe Chandrayaan-1. In year 2012, India tested its long-range Agni-5 missile.
2014, Mars Orbit Mission. India successfully launched Mars Orbit Mission. 2020, COVID pandemic broke out. The first COVID-19 case of the country was reported in Kerala's Thrissur district. 2021, India invented two vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin. India started the biggest vaccination drive. Slowly and steadily, India will start to overcome the COVID pandemic situation.
The COVID-19 has resulted in shutdown of schools all across the world. Globally, 1.2 billion children are out of the classroom. Teachers have been the frontline workers for children during this pandemic. They have quickly moved to bring classroom online and found fun and interesting ways to keep children across India engaged.
Not only mentoring them, but teachers also motivated and inspired children to develop positivity among them during the crisis. This is what working from home has been like for the teachers. Now let's meet the another Corona warrior, Mr. Ranjit Olak, a teacher from Guru Gobind Singh School and Junior College, to share with us the experience of online teaching.
Hello everyone, myself Gunjan Rauta Birari, studying in 8th standard. As we all know that the whole world is suffering from the pandemic situation of COVID-19. Many frontline workers such as doctors, nurses, policemen, etc. have given their best to overcome this situation. But we can't forget teachers who have been frontline workers for children during the coronavirus pandemic. They have quickly moved to bring classrooms online and found fun and interesting ways to keep children engaged. So today I would like to introduce one of the Gen teachers, Mr. Ranjit Singh Aurak, who is working in Guru Gobind Public School and Junior College since 3 years. He is working in secondary section. So let's start the interview with Mr. Ranjit Singh Aurak, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Here, myself, Ranjit Singh Aurak.
So the first question I would like to ask you is, how do you take your classes in this pandemic situation?
See now, you all can see that as world is facing a very big issue in this pandemic situation, and education sector has become very difficult. Seeing to this condition, only one option remains for the teacher, that is online. So we are conducting our education through the online. We are using Google Classroom. We are using Google Meet. We are sending assignment on the WhatsApp. We are making the videos by teachers that are also sent on the WhatsApp. In this way, we are conducting our education online.
Okay, sir. So, what is the biggest challenge in this virtual classes, as you said?
The biggest challenge is that the children are not virtual to each other. Okay? We are not in front of each other. We are not able to know about this whether the students are studying or not, as it is online. Okay, the camera sometimes it is off, sometimes on. They are attending the lecture or not. We are not identifying it. And very important thing is that due to this online, the students have lost their skills. That is writing, reading, everything is lost in this country.
Absolutely, sir. So, what difference between online and offline teaching do you face?
Now, there is a major difference in online and offline. Suppose if you take offline, the students were passive; they were active in the classes. Okay, as it is online, they have become physically passive. Now they are not able to talk; they are not able to interact with the teachers. In the offline, what it was there, we were one-to-one interaction with the teachers. The child was there. Okay, the difficulty was directly told to the teacher, or we were observing the teachers, observing the students. Okay, but due to this online, everything is stopped. And the very, very important thing is that the children are addicted to the mobiles. Okay, and due to that, they are addicted to the games also. And when the offline teaching was there, the students were used to read the books. Okay, reading skill was there, writing skill was there. They were supposed to go in the libraries. They were reading the books. So the development skill has lost. This was the difference of online and offline.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, we would love if you would share your experience about online teaching.
See now, online teaching in this pandemic, no other option is there. That's why we are taking online teaching. We are not totally satisfied by this online teaching because we know that students are not in 100%, because some students are active, some students are not active. They are not able to attend the classes. And we are thinking that it is very big loss for the children in this online session.
Thank you, sir. So, do all the students attend online sessions, and how do you motivate them in studies?
Okay, a very good question here. As we know that some conditions depends on the parents, how they are affordable or not. Okay, some are having mobiles, some are having not mobiles. Okay, some are having mobiles, they are carrying to the work. They are not able to attend the lectures. So we are not getting 100% attendance. First question. Okay, answer that we are not getting 100% attendance. And for that, what we are doing, we are calling to the parents. We are telling them that if your child has missed the online classes, we are sending assignments and videos to them. So in the evening, when you come back to the home, please go through it and tell them to go through them. Okay, if they have missed the videos, sorry, if they have missed the online lectures, they can study from the videos and assignments that we are providing. That only we are suggesting.
So are you satisfied in teaching students online?
Here, actually, we are not satisfied. We are feeling guilty that we are not able to give 100% to the students. When the offline was there, we were paying attention to each and every student. The students were able to talk to us. Okay, now they are not able to talk to us. Whenever on the online lecture also, we would like to talk them. If we take the name of the typical student, either he left the meeting or he is not able to answer us. Okay, so and we are not having any another option. Only the one option in this pandemic situation was only online. Okay, so we are trying our best to give the 100% to the students, but we are not satisfied yet. So we are praying the God that this pandemic situation should be overcome as possible, as early, and we should be one-to-one with the students.
Okay. So what would you like to suggest to students in this current situation?
See, now the current situation is very stressful because children are continuously at home. They are not going outside. When it was offline, they were coming to the school. Okay, they were talking to their friends. They were playing. Okay, they were talking to the friends. They were playing. Okay, mentally they were very relaxed. But now online, by seeing the mobile, okay, stress to the eyes, and directly and studying, they are using mobiles for gaming. Okay, so that is the very difficult to us, and we are trying to tell, we are calling to parents and we are telling them that you should only motivate, because in this condition parent is only one who is with their children, and they should only motivate them how they can study their self.
I completely agree with you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to express my gratitude for giving us your precious time in busy schedule. Your gentle words are a source of encouragement for all of us. We will cultivate the advice you gave us in real life. Thank you, sir.
Hope can be powerful force, especially in difficult times. Today, the world is facing corona crisis. It has changed the life of many people, many who are locked in home, others who are working to help and prevent the virus, also need the reassurance and the hope. We shall overcome this. So let's sing together an inspiring song with BPMS choir group.
We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome.
of hope being seen and heard daily. More vaccinations are being made available. The numbers of jobs is generally increasing, and in many regions, the infection rate is down. Unfortunately, there are some signs in the opposite direction that are worrisome. Yet overall, the changes give hope that a return to more normal life, work and social pattern is in our future. We wish soon we will live once again in true freedom. Till then, take care, wash hands, be safe, rejoice in Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.